Hey everybody, welcome back. Got another T4 and ISO infographic for you. This time it's the astonishing X-Men. This is probably one of the more popular teams to come along in a while, and they are actually doing way better than what I think a lot expected. You know, we thought they'd be good in raids for sure, especially after they changed Beach Special, which was critical in my opinion. But now people are using them in PvP, testing them around in war. You know, finding out, 270 to 330k teams are doing well in Ultimate 7.5. You know, Mobile Gamer did some stuff where he was autoing. So this is definitely a graphic you want to check out. As always, I collaborate on this one. So unfortunately, Yeti had some stuff that he had to take care of in personal life this time. So it's just Punk and I. We also got a bunch of help with some folks in the Patron, as well as some other people we kind of ran some things by. So appreciate you guys kind of chiming in to make sure that, just wasn't totally off base. So Yeti will definitely be back. We love him very much. So yeah, so this collaboration is slightly different. Don't want you guys to think that that was anything crazy other than that. But anyone who's new to the channel, this is WolverThor, and we try to do stuff that typically is kind of an efficiency and guide type thing to help you along the line. So click on the Discord link in the description below and come to the Discord, see when these videos come out, chat, and hopefully help improve your game a little bit. All right, let's check out this infographic.
Bring me WolverThor!
All right, so here's the infographic. As always, we got the image up top that Punk always makes phenomenal. We've got this little thing that I'll chime in on in a second. We did that actually for another team that I'll release a T4 on here in the next few days. We got the ISOs underneath each one of them, and then we kind of go through the rankings 1 through 20. We got a color-coded system that's basically, you got the legend down here, but it goes from basically essential all the way down to just don't. We got some images here, and this column here with the damage increase rank, that's actually how I started doing these T4 rankings, where I would rank the damage that you'd get, kind of a bang for the buck, because you wanted to make sure that you accounted for the base damage on someone. So I was adamant about making sure to still put that in there, just in case someone wanted to use that as a, decision-making aspect of something they might want to put into their T4 upgrades. So that's what we got there. We'll zoom in a little bit. You can see, as always, Punk just does great work here. I always love his work. You can see the raid advisory, or the ranking advisory, it's raid focus. So that is something with this team, while we are finding that they are useful in multiple game modes, that is something that we wanted to mention, that this is a primary raid focus team. We went with Bishop for primarily striker. Iceman, we left skirmisher, and we had a note for level 5. Now there's some people who might not be able to do that, so we did talk about a raider a bit there. So that might be something if you're like, well, I can't bring the level 5 due to mats. Really, and the reason I like that, and I'll go over this when I go through the notes, but basically getting that focus. So a beast, this one you could be a little bit all over the map with, but we had healer primarily. At some point you might not need those because the team is just going to go so much, and when you find that, you probably want to switch them over to skirmisher to get some of those striker double taps. Jubilee we left as a striker, so you can get some more blinds out there on her special and ultimate. And then Kitty, honestly, man, and the truth is there are a lot of different arraignments you can use for this team. So make sure that whatever decision you make, that you pick how you want to use this team, and then follow the ISOs across that board, right? If you want to use them for like, well, I want Kitty to heal more. Okay, well it's a healer. That means you might need to think about making Beast a skirmisher because you want to get some more vulnerables out there. But we had Kitty as a skirmisher. You can also, as an alternate, maybe make her a striker. That basic of hers is pretty strong with flipping some positive effects, but that's where we put it. And then obviously the healer there for some of her passive abilities. And then I'll go through these as we go through the spreadsheet, but that's what we got up now. And I always want to give a shout out to Punk. He does great work. If you guys want to help support that effort, we do have a Patreon specifically for that. The link to the Patreon's in the description below. Go check out the Brotherhood tier. It's the one with the pyro on it. So those funds help directly support these type of efforts. So if you're looking to support, go check that out. All right, so now let's go check out the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is, like I mentioned, Yeti had some real life stuff he had to take care of this time. So I'm just going to go through my comments here. But normally him and I are pretty much on the same page with maybe a couple things slightly different. So yeah, we feel pretty comfortable, you know, knowing that we weren't going to be totally in left field. And if we are, you know what, next time Yeti's back, he will help us fix everything. So like I mentioned, you know, for the ISOs, Bishop, it was just about damage, baby. For Striker, Iceman, I mentioned the focus for that level 5 skirmisher. I kind of joked here, if money level 5, if no money alt raider. Beast, I talk about if you're the healing, if your team's smaller than 400k. The alt skirmisher if you need some more vulnerables for those 2 taps. I like Striker on Jubilee for those double taps on her ultimate and special because it's, you know, I said glorious. Because I think that, you know, the more blinds out there, the better, right? If you use in arena, then use Striker to get more basic taps, increase chance to blind. That goes for war as well. You definitely want to see that, and you probably want to increase the T4 chance there in her, her basic as well to increase the blind opportunity if it's outside of raids. Kitty Pryde, already mentioned Striker only if you upgrade the basic T4 and have other skirmishers. The more heals from her there, the better, but it's a minimal game. So that was the thought process in those. Coming at the bottom here, Beast Basics, which is nothing else to use them on. You know, I didn't even really make a comment. The increase here is some damage. The damage rank only comes in at 203rd, 203, and that's it. You know, you're getting a okay damage because I'm like, eh. Kitty Pryde's basic. Now, this one could arguably be increased if you're really about her skirmisher here, because it does clear, instead of 1 positive effect, 2 positive effects. In that regard, it could be bumped up. But I wasn't necessarily looking for her to do that when I was looking at this. My comment is it could be amazing if you use her as a striker. So, you know, kind of cover that a little bit and you can move it up, but I wasn't going to upgrade it there. Iceman's basic, it's an okay damage increase. The potential disability could be used though. You know, I don't know. I mean, he's already got a ton of focus, so it's really about the damage. He's already applying the slow. I just didn't love the damage upgrade there. Kitty Pryde's special, it's an okay damage increase, but it is to all. And really, you know, there's also, if there's a taunt, you fill her speed bar a little bit more. So it really is about the damage increase. So I wasn't in love with it. Coming in at number 16, we've got another t4s to spare. This is Iceman's special. My comment is okay damage increase, and we'll move up in rankings if finding that slows are all over and the crit damage would be amplified. So this is about a primary target damage increase, and that's pretty much it. If the target has slow and the attack always crits and applies stun, we are finding that there are a lot of slows out there and that it's likely going to crit and have stun. So the damage increase could go up. So if you've got a lot of high reds on Iceman, or you just love them quick, you know, it's not a bad upgrade because, you know, 126 plus you add the crit to it, that damage boost with a crit is going to go way, way up. So next I've got Jubilee's basic. The damage increase here is 99. I've got this highlighted yellow for a reason, because essentially this can go up much higher depending on how you're using her. So one, if you're using her in raids, the T4, while the damage is nice, you probably don't necessarily need it because you're guaranteed to apply the blind. But if you have her striker and you really want to get some additional damage there, it is a decent damage increase, even though on assists and double taps and all that type of stuff, the damage isn't quite the same. So, you know, look, I could argue, or I would understand an argument where you'd want to move this up. Now, if you're finding that you're using her in war and you really do want a higher chance to blind as well, or in arena for whatever reason, then again, I'd probably move this up just to guarantee or get a little bit better chance to apply those blinds. And a 70% chance, even if she's a striker to double tap, it's like 70% chance, another 70% chance. I could see myself moving that up. So anyway, that's why I highlighted that yellow. I wanted to bring that up. Next up is Kitty Pryde's ultimate. It's a decent damage increase for 119 and adjacent. It's a first turn cooldown. Basically, you're just getting a damage increase. Everything else is kind of there. So, you know, it's not bad. If you're finding that you're hitting a lot of enemies with that one and you want to move it, okay. But 119 damage increase is solid considering it's going to hit all adjacents as well. Bishop's basic, highlighted yellow for the same reason that Jubilee's basic was. That, you know, you're going to use him as striker. It's going to double tap. You know, he does have short cooldowns on his ultimate and a special. So that's why I had it a little bit lower, because I was like, yeah, but how much are you going to use this? So it says here, but his ultimate and special have such short cooldowns, I'm not sure how much this is needed. But, you know, I wouldn't argue too hard with somebody who really wanted to do it. I've got 6 reds on Bishop, so I might still do that just to get the extra damage. there's what a lot of people are seeing is that AXmen do need some added damage to that team, you know, somewhat similar to how symbiotes were a little bit, where if you just use ISOs or healer ISOs, you really sometimes timed out on nodes. Beast's ultimate, I love more heals, you know, and it says, but I'm not sure that they're needed. What this does is it guarantees applies regeneration to self and all mutant allies. Look, you can always use that. You never know in a situation where it might come in handy. But if you're finding that your AXmen are just constantly going because they're killing and they're getting enough heals from other sources, then you can save the T4s here. You don't really need it. So that's why I had that kind of, you know, in the 12th, not top 10 spots. Coming in at number 11, we've got Iceman's ultimate. It ranks 74th, but remember, it hits everybody, so that's a really pretty good damage increase. My comment here is the added barrier is nice, and the damage is pretty solid and hits everyone. So I actually like this one quite a bit. If you're going in on Iceman, that's not a bad one to do at all. At number 10, we've got Beast's passive. And my comment here is I was debating having this lower, but the higher resist is likely going to be important, even with the buff to Beast special. If you're not getting lots of turn meter and finding yourself with a lot of debuffs due to the team power, then I'd move this higher on your list, because this gives you that additional 10% resistance. It's not a lot of resistance, but it's a decent. So, you know, right now I've got it as 10 and a really good, but, you know, it's the lowest of all the passives, which if you didn't put that together, now you know. So coming in at 9, we've got Bishop's Special. Again, another good damage rank on this guy. I love it. It's a really short cooldown. You're also, remember, going to get offense up. So it's kind of twofold on that damage increase. So you're always going to be higher than 35 on this. So it's really, you know, like a top 10 type damage increase, given that you're always going to have offense up on it. And it's a short cooldown, you know, but it's a primary target hit. So that's why I didn't have it a little bit higher. But it is definitely something if you want to get a kill shot on that, you know, this is likely going to be able to do it. Coming in at number 8 is Iceman's passive. And the truth is, I actually had this lower, but after talking to some people who are using these guys at the higher ends of raids, they're really finding this to be a little bit more useful. My comment was the 30% chance to attack on an enemy team is pretty bad. I don't love that. Everything in this thing is very circumstantial, but since this is a raid team, I like the damage reduction, and the lower armor takes out enemies quicker. So really what this is all about is on an enemy turn, there's a 30% chance to attack that enemy for some additional piercing. If the enemy has slow, you always attack them. So if you're finding that everybody's got slow, then yeah, that piercing increase is really nice. That's just kind of that passive damage, right? So that's awesome. The lower armor for all enemies with slow, again, that's great if, you know, everyone's definitely got slow. In raids, you lower their damage by an additional 10%, again, if they have slow. So if everyone's got slow, then this thing is probably much better than what I'm giving it credit for. But it is, you know, because of the circumstances, the circumstantial aspects of it, I was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable ranking it that much higher. So then we've got Jubilee's Special. This is 100 ranked damage increase. My comment is love getting all the Axemen on the hiss, and the buff going to everybody is very clutch. If the cooldown was shorter, I'd probably put it higher. You know, I like that it applies offense up to all allies. That is something that, you know, you're always looking for. You attack the primary target for some additional damage, and then you get all Astonishing X-Men to do it. So I like this. I originally had this up a bit higher, but I swapped it with Jubilee's Ultimate after talking to some higher level players, thinking, and their experience was that they actually found that the Ultimate was beneficial a little bit more to them than the Special. So it's kind of like, yeah, I could kind of see that, and this is a little bit primary, but I did love that. I'm just a sucker for a T4 upgrade that goes to everybody, and I think I fell victim to that when I was originally ranking this. Beast Special, this is the one that I've talked about a lot. I advocated for this clearing for all Astonishing X-Men. It only clears 2 negative effects as opposed to 1 to 2. I really would have liked, and the damage increase is pretty decent. It's 168, and it's going to everybody. I would have liked a little bit more negative effect clear, but the truth is if these guys are going a lot and going fast, it's probably fine. So coming in at number 5, we got Jubilee's Alt. This is the first essential one. You'll notice, like I mentioned, between her special and her ultimate, I was kind of in between those two, so I had them highlighted yellow. My comment here is this upgrade helps either take out a character or severely hamper their chance of making an impact on a fight. The damage increase here is 17 to the initial hit, and then 100 to when she hits everybody. So it is a turn 1 ability, and it's a generally short cooldown. You attack the primary target for some pretty heavy damage here. That's where you get the 17 damage rank. A plus some piercing, and you reduce their speed bar, which is amazing. And you apply stun. So the T4 aspect is just increased damage, increased piercing, and reducing their speed bar by more. And then the attacking all of the other enemies also goes up with some additional piercing. So I did like this ability. It's pretty nice. I don't know. When you get something like this and you can potentially take somebody out of a fight, it's kind of critical. And I agreed that it was worthwhile bringing it up. So coming in number 4, we've got Bishop's Ultimate. This is a huge damage increase. It's ranked 8th in the game and also hits adjacents. It's got a crazy short cooldown. Give me this all day when Bishop's charged, and that's something you need to make out you look for. Do it when he's charged, because the damage increase there is, I mean, look, the actual increase is double when now it's charged, so it's kind of like, so make sure that you use it when it's charged, okay? And it's such a short cooldown. Oh man, like, and if you get it on offense up as well, this dude is taking like everybody out, just everybody out. So make sure to plan that appropriately and, think about it. It's almost worth skipping it on the ultimate if he doesn't have his charged. Jubilee's passive comes in at number 3. Jube speeding up Beast and giving him energy for more heals and cleanses is great. Adds more HP and damage in raids. I looked at it, this is a must-have. And like I mentioned, increases Beast speed by 10%. Whenever an X-Men or Astonishing X-Men ally drops below 50%, you get an additional 10% max health. And in raids, you're getting that additional 10% damage for all of the Astonishing X-Men. So I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Coming in at number 2 is Bishop's passive. My comment here is this team does not have an official tank, but Bishop acts as one and is key to have his HP above 80%. So reducing the damage that he takes while taunted is very important. The guaranteed counter for a high damage blaster is nice as well. So what this T4 does is it gains an additional 10% damage reduction when he has taunt. So to me, because whenever he is hit and gets that charge and then attacks and he's above 80%, gets that taunt, I want him to be able to have a reduced damage. So ideally he can stay above 80% and constantly be with that taunting and constantly getting that charge. The chance to counterattack on there's pretty nice as well. And then coming in at number 1, and the truth is these top 3 passes are all really kind of collectively number 1 types. We had Kitty Pryde's passive. The comment here is AXmen are a raid team, and guaranteeing the evade application is a big plus. Hiding Kitty for 2 turns and added the heals are clutch. So in this, what it does is the T4 gains, if she drops below 50% health, she'll stealth for 2 turns as opposed to 1, so she can hide a little bit longer. If Jubilee is an ally, then she heals for an additional 5% of this character's HP. So I like that. It's like, okay, when Jubilee is an ally, on an enemy miss or dodge, heal the most injured Astonishing X-Men ally for 10%, which means all those blinds as they're attacking, she's like, heal, heal, heal. And it's like, so instead of 5%, I like 10%. Now in raids, on turn, apply defense up. That's fine. That's not in the T4. On enemy turn, it's a guaranteed chance to apply an evade to the most injured Astonishing X-Men ally or herself. So on an enemy turn, she applies evade to the most injured character. If the enemy goes, if it attacks the most injured character, well, that character is going to evade. And then Kitty heals that character. All right, well, then it's the enemy's turn again. She reapplies evade again. So it's like this cycle where if they keep attacking the lowest character, she just keeps putting evade on them and healing them until it's someone else, is the lowest HP. So I really like that. I like seeing that cycle there. Again, it's only in raids. It'd be awesome if it was in war too, but I could see where that could potentially be really annoying. But anyway, I like that. So that's what we got for all of these T4s. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I know a lot of people have been asking for this. We'll make sure to put it up on the Discords, obviously the link below. I mentioned the Patreon to help support these efforts. Feel free to do that. We always appreciate it. If not, we still hope these are helping you guys out. Hammer down that like button, click the notification bell, subscription button. You guys know the drill. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.